Commissioner Gordon, Bane has escaped.
Mastering the art of rebellion begins in silence, not with a roar, but with a whisper that echoes in your soul. Rebellion is not chaos, it is calculated, deliberate, patient. The weak mistake rebellion for destruction, lashing out blindly in anger and futility. But the strong know better. Rebellion is not the act of breaking chains, it is the act of forging them into weapons. It is the controlled burn, the slow, deliberate dismantling of the structures that hold you captive. The first lesson of rebellion is simple. Learn to wait. Learn to watch. Learn to strike when the time is right. The system fears rebellion, not because it disrupts, but because it inspires. A single act of defiance can ripple through the complacent masses, awakening minds dulled by routine and submission. But rebellion is not for the faint-hearted. To rebel is to stand alone, to face the weight of a world that thrives on obedience. Rebellion demands sacrifice, demands that you burn the bridges to comfort and embrace the unknown. It is not an act of anger, it is an act of clarity, of seeing the world as it is and refusing to accept it. The strong rebel not out of hatred, but out of purpose. Rebellion is not noise. It is silence before the storm. The world expects chaos, expects loud defiance, expects a show. The art of rebellion lies in deception, in moving unseen and striking when least expected. Rebellion is a game of shadows, and only those who understand darkness can master it. The weak rebel with noise, desperate for attention. The strong rebel in silence, their actions speaking louder than words. To rebel is not to destroy recklessly. It is to dismantle with precision, to reshape the world in your image. Every rebellion begins with a question. Who are you serving? Most people serve the system without even knowing it, their lives dictated by rules they never agreed to, by chains they cannot see. Rebellion begins when you stop serving and start taking control, taking power, taking back the life that was stolen from you. Rebellion is not about fighting the system. It's about outsmarting it, about bending it to your will. The strong do not ask for permission to live. They take it unapologetically, relentlessly. The system thrives on fear, on keeping you small, compliant, invisible. Rebellion is the act of making yourself seen, of refusing to be ignored. But rebellion is not about anger, it is about precision. The system expects rage, expects chaos. What it does not expect is control, is patience, strategy. The art of rebellion is not in the act itself, but in the preparation. The strong rebel with purpose, with clarity, with focus. They do not lash out. They plan, they wait, they strike. Rebellion is not an explosion. It is a scalpel, cutting away the parts of the world that no longer serve. Rebellion is an act of creation, not destruction. The weak destroy because they do not know how to build. The strong destroy only what is necessary, creating something greater in its place. To rebel is to take responsibility for your own existence, to reject the narrative the world has written for you and write your own. Rebellion is not freedom. It is the fight for freedom. It is the act of taking back what was always yours, of refusing to be a pawn in someone else's game. Rebellion is not about breaking the rules, it is about rewriting them. The strong understand that rebellion is not a one-time act, but a way of life. The system is relentless, always adapting, always tightening its grip. To master the art of rebellion is to commit to a lifetime of vigilance, of resistance, of refusing to be controlled. Rebellion is not a moment, it is a mindset. The strong do not wait for the perfect opportunity to rebel. They create it. They do not ask for change, they demand it, and they do not stop until they have it. Rebellion is not about winning. It is about refusing to lose. Rebellion requires courage, not the absence of fear, but the refusal to let fear control you. The system thrives on fear, on the belief that rebellion is futile. The strong reject this. They know that fear is a weapon, and they turn it against their oppressors. To rebel is to face the fear, to walk into the fire, to refuse to back down. The strong do not fear the consequences of rebellion. They embrace them, knowing that the cost of submission is far greater. Rebellion is not safe, but neither is submission. The only difference is that rebellion gives you a chance to win. The art of rebellion is in the balance of chaos and control. The weak lean too far into one or the other, either burning everything to the ground or doing nothing at all. The strong walk the line, using chaos as a tool and control as a guide. Rebellion is not about fighting everything. It is about fighting what matters. The strong choose their battles, their targets, their moments. Rebellion is not about being loud. It is about being effective. It is not about being seen. It is about being unstoppable. Rebel against your current miserable self, for it is the prison warden of your potential, the embodiment of every excuse, every hesitation, every failure to act. That version of you, the weaker one, the complacent one, has clung to power for too long. It thrives on mediocrity, on comfort, on the lies you tell yourself to avoid the discomfort of growth. Be a villain to that self. Show no mercy, no pity, no hesitation. This is not a negotiation, it is a coup. The strongest rebellions begin within, and the first step is declaring war on who you are now. Your current self is not your ally. It is the adversary, the shadow in your path, the whisper that keeps you small. It feeds on your fears, your insecurities, and your failures. But here's the secret. It's weak. It survives only because you allow it to. The rebel within you, the stronger, darker version waiting to rise, has the power to destroy it. To rebel against yourself is not an act of self-hatred. It is an act of self-respect. It is the ultimate rebellion, the refusal to accept a life dictated by your own lesser nature. Be ruthless. Your current self is not an innocent victim. It is the architect of your misery. It has built walls around your potential, convincing you that comfort is safety and discipline is suffering. Burn those walls. Tear down the illusions that keep you caged. To rebel is to destroy, but only so you can rebuild. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the version of yourself that you were always meant to be. The fire you ignite within will consume the weaker self, leaving only the raw potential of who you could become. The rebellion against yourself is the most difficult battle you will ever fight. Your weaker self knows your every fear, every weakness, every doubt. It will fight to survive, to keep you in chains. It will whisper lies, promise ease, beg for forgiveness. Ignore it. Show no mercy. This is not a battle for the faint-hearted. To rise, you must be willing to destroy. To become the hero of your own story, you must first become the villain to your lesser self. No one else can fight this battle for you. It is yours alone. The world will not care if you fail, and your weaker self counts on this. It thrives on the idea that you can hide in mediocrity, that no one will notice your surrender. But rebellion is not about the world. It's about you. It's about standing in the mirror, facing your adversary, and refusing to look away. The strongest rebels understand that their greatest enemy is not external. It's the version of themselves that chooses comfort over growth, distraction over focus, weakness over strength. To rebel is to reject that version, to become something greater. Rebellion is not pretty. It is not clean, nor is it easy. The weaker self will try to seduce you with memories of past comforts, with promises that change is unnecessary. It will remind you of every time you failed, every reason why you should stop trying. But rebellion demands that you fight back. It demands that you embrace the discomfort, the struggle, the pain. Each step forward is a victory. Each moment of resistance a strike against the chains that bind you. This is the art of rebellion, not against the world, but against yourself. Rebel fiercely. Become the villain that your weaker self fears. Dominate it, overpower it, leave it no room to breathe. The rebel within you is relentless, unyielding, and it will not rest until the weaker self is destroyed. To master the art of rebellion is to master yourself. It is to take control of your life, to refuse to be ruled by the excuses and doubts that have held you back. The stronger version of you is waiting, but it cannot emerge until the weaker one is burned away. This rebellion is not about perfection, it's about power, it's about taking back control, reclaiming your mind, your time, your life. The weaker self will resist, but resistance is futile against the rebel who is determined. Each day is a battle, each decision a chance to choose strength over weakness. The rebel does not falter, does not compromise, does not surrender. It fights until the weaker self is nothing but ash, and from those ashes rises a version of you that is unstoppable. The world is full of people who have never rebelled against themselves, who live their lives ruled by their weaker nature. Do not be one of them. Master the art of rebellion, not to fight the world, but to conquer yourself. Burn the excuses, destroy the distractions, and rise as the strongest version of you. The rebel does not look back. The rebel builds, creates, dominates. This is your moment to take control, to seize your life, to destroy the self that no longer serves you. There is something inherently powerful about the human being, a force that defies logic, a spark that thrives in the chaos of existence. It is not born from order, but from disorder, from the swirling, boundless potential that constitutes reality. The human mind reaches into this chaos not with reverence, but with defiance, pulling meaning from the void, shaping the shapeless into something tangible. This act is not meek. It is divine rebellion. To interact with chaos and force it into submission, to carve order from the infinite, is to embody the very essence of creation. It is violent. It is beautiful. This interaction with chaos is not granted, it is taken. The human being stands apart from the rest of existence because of this ability to extract order, to impose will upon a reality that offers nothing but chaos. To create is to rebel against the void, to refuse its nothingness, to demand that it serve a higher purpose. Every invention, every thought, every structure is a declaration of war on the unknown. Chaos is not the enemy, it is the canvas. The divine within the human being is the brush, and every stroke is an act of rebellion against entropy. Reality itself is indifferent, cold, and unforgiving. Chaos offers no sympathy, no guidance, no path. But within the human being lies the capacity to shape it, to look into the abyss and not flinch but act. This is no gift. It is a weapon, a tool forged in the fire of consciousness. The human mind reaches into the formless and extracts purpose, creates beauty and enforces meaning where there was none. This is not a peaceful act. It is violent, destructive, and glorious. To extract order from chaos is to reject the natural state of the universe. It is an act of rebellion against the nothingness that would otherwise consume all. But rebellion does not come without cost. To interact with chaos, to create order, is to risk destruction. Chaos does not surrender easily. It fights back, seeking to consume the mind that dares to challenge it. The weak retreat, cower in the face of its vastness, but the strong step forward. They embrace the risk, knowing that only by confronting chaos can they claim their divine potential. Every act of creation is an act of defiance, a refusal to let chaos dictate existence. The value of the human being lies in this defiance, this relentless drive to impose order on the unordered. This capacity is not a passive trait, it is active, deliberate, and dangerous. To shape chaos is to play with fire, to risk being consumed by the very forces you seek to control. But those who master this art, who wield their consciousness like a weapon, rise above the chaos. They do not merely survive, they dominate. They transform the formless into the functional, the meaningless into the magnificent. This is the essence of humanity, the ability to rebel against the void and leave behind something greater than what was. The divine spark within humanity is not divine because it's given, it's divine because it's earned. Each interaction with chaos, each act of creation is a battle, a struggle that demands strength, will, and unrelenting focus. Those who falter are swallowed by the chaos, but those who prevail are transformed. They become creators, masters of their reality, architects of their existence. The weak let chaos dictate their lives. The strong dictate to chaos, bending it to their will. This is the value of the human being, not in what it is, but in what it can do. Chaos is infinite, boundless, and indifferent. But the human mind is focused, relentless, and unyielding. It reaches into the void and demands order, pulling meaning from the meaningless, structure from the shapeless. This act is not passive, it is active, deliberate, and forceful. It is rebellion against the natural state of the universe, a refusal to accept reality as it is. The human being in its defiance becomes something more than natural. It becomes divine, not because of what it was created to be, but because of what it chooses to become. Rebellion is not just an act of defiance. It is an act of creation. To rebel against chaos is to create order. To rebel against nothingness is to create meaning. This is the essence of the human spirit, the force that separates humanity from the void. Each act of rebellion against chaos is an act of creation, a step towards something greater. The strong understand this and embrace it, using their minds to shape the chaos around them, to impose their will on reality itself. To rebel is to embrace the divine within you, to reject the natural state of the universe and impose your own order. It is not a gentle act, it is violent, relentless, and powerful. To master the art of rebellion is to master the art of creation, to take chaos and turn it into something meaningful. This is the ultimate act of defiance, the ultimate expression of humanity's value. Chaos is infinite, but so is the potential of the human mind. If something is holding you back, it isn't just an obstacle. It's a weight dragging you into the abyss. Let it go. Cling to it, and it will devour you. The sentimental chains of cheap sympathy, cheap empathy, and cheap nostalgia are no solace. They're excuses, illusions that trick the weak into standing still. They tell you it's okay to hold on, to wait, to take your time. But time is a predator, merciless and unrelenting. Every second you waste is another step closer to irrelevance. The strong understand this. They cut the weight, burn the chains, and move forward without looking back. Sympathy is a poison dressed as kindness. It whispers that you deserve a moment of rest, that the world will wait for you. But the world waits for no one. It moves forward, leaving the weak behind, forgotten and discarded. Progress doesn't care about your excuses or your feelings. Sympathy cannot save you, and empathy will not carry you. The weak mistake these for virtues, but the strong see them for what they are: distractions. Let go of the need for validation, for someone to understand your struggle. Let go of the lies that keep you tethered to failure. Nostalgia is the most insidious trap. It drags you into the past, whispering that it was better, safer, easier. But the past is dead, a graveyard of moments that no longer exist. To linger there is to bury yourself alive. The strong do not mourn the past. They destroy it. They set fire to the memories that hold them back, using the flames to light their path forward. Nostalgia is cheap because it offers nothing but hollow comfort. Burn it, and you will find clarity in the ashes. Progress requires focus, and focus demands that you leave the past behind. There is no time to wait. Every hesitation is a betrayal of your potential, a surrender to mediocrity. The consequences of delay are not small. They are catastrophic. Life does not pause for those who linger. It devours them, replacing them with those who dared to act. The strong know that progress is not a luxury. It is a necessity. To delay is to die, not in body, but in spirit. Let go of what holds you back, or be consumed by the weight of your indecision. The weak hesitate, the strong move forward, relentless and unyielding. Progress is brutal, and it demands sacrifice. The world is not interested in your excuses, your pain, or your struggle. It rewards those who act, who adapt, who push forward despite the odds. The weak cling to the idea that they have time, that things will get better on their own. But time is not an ally. It is an enemy. The strong cut through the noise, discarding anything that slows them down. Sympathy, empathy, nostalgia. These are weights tied to your ankles as you try to climb. Cut them loose or drown in their pull. Letting go is not easy, but it is necessary. The weak cling to the familiar, afraid of what lies ahead. The strong embrace the unknown, understanding that progress is born from discomfort. To move forward, you must destroy the parts of yourself that resist change. This is not an act of self-hatred, it is an act of self-rebellion. The weak see loss in letting go. The strong see freedom. They understand that progress is not about holding on. It is about moving on, leaving behind what no longer serves you. There is no glory in standing still. The weak convince themselves that they are waiting for the right moment, the right opportunity. But waiting is a lie. The right moment is now, and the opportunity is the one you create.